it's Diane. Today I'm going to talk to you about a book that I listened to this time. I listened to it on Overdrive because it's available on audio or as an ebook, and it's also available from the library in hard copy if you want to read it like that. So it's called The Colour of B. Larkham's Murder by Sarah J. Harris. The book has as the main protagonist a teenager called Jasper. He sees the world completely differently from us because he sees sounds in colour. So his mum's voice was cobalt blue. The chap who walks his dog in the street, he recognises him because he wears red cords and stripy socks, because he's also face blind. And because this guy always has a dog with him who barks custard yellow, then he thinks of them in those kind of terms. So if someone was to wear blue jeans instead of red trousers and speak to him, he wouldn't necessarily recognise them unless he recognised the colour of the voice, because he doesn't recognise faces. This is a problem. Going to school, he doesn't recognise the other pupils, and there's lots of people around, so he has to try and, like in the classes, he has to try and think where people sit, what they look like, what they sound like, to try and identify the people as he goes along. Now, B. Larkham moves back to the place where he lives, the road that he lives in, after she left many years before because she emigrated to Australia. But she used to live in that road when she was a young child. So she's come back because her mum died, and she becomes friendly with Jasper because he is very keen on the parakeets that nest in the tree in their road. He's a keen bird watcher. So we as outsiders can see that she's quite sarcastic and manipulative, but to Jasper, she's his good friend, and she's really nice to him, and she likes the parakeets like he likes the parakeets, so he kind of thinks they've got a bond. She's also got a lovely coloured voice like his mum, similar but not the same, and that kind of makes him like her even more because she's a shade of blue like his mum was, and his mum's died. Now, his dad used to be in the forces and is doing his best to look after Jasper, but Jasper has many needs, and it's hard to get him to fit in, and his dad's always telling him that, he mustn't stare at people, he mustn't say this sort of thing. So his dad's trying to make him fit in with society, whereas of course Jasper's slightly different. B disappears. There's a lot of things going on around her. She's kind of the catalyst in the street to lots of things happening, but she's also a bit of a damaged person herself, so she's actually causing things to happen. She doesn't watch what she says to people. She can be quite nasty, and then she apologises, but the damage is done because she's hurt them, things like that. So eventually she disappears, and then Jasper's trying to piece back what happened to be from his memory, and it's an unreliable memory because he's face blind. He sees voices and sounds in colour, and then he paints the colour of what he sees, and it's kind of abstract. So if he was to draw a parakeet, it wouldn't look like a parakeet, it would look like the colours of the sounds that the bird makes. So that sounds all very confusing, but it isn't. It's explained really well, and the subject is expounded on and written all around. So the fact that he's face blind and can see colours in sounds is actually part of the story, but it's actually a kind of mystery story. So he's the one who's actually trying to find his way through the mystery and follow the clues back to find out what really did happen. So it's a bit of an unusual book. It's not something I haven't read anything like this before, really. So I would suggest that you give it a go. As I say, you can get it on e-audio from Overdrive or e-book from Overdrive, or you can also get a hard copy, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.